Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 50th episode of the Project Infinite podcast, the podcast covering the infinite, ever-expanding multiverse of fandom, from movies, comics, TV shows, video games. We got you covered for 50 episodes now. I'm Rob. I'm here, as always, with Court. Court, 50 episodes.
What a journey. It's literally insane to think about it in like hindsight, like where we started. I think I watched the Loki finale and I was like, you don't want to just talk about this for fun? And look what happened. Yeah. Look at us.
Almost, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. Almost a year into this.
Yeah, it's absolute insanity. Oh yeah, we're close because we started this right before, I believe, the Suicide Squad came out. So we're moving, man. We're moving on up.
Yeah, and it's nuts.
This is just the beginning.
So for our 50th episode, you think we'd do something special? Nah.
Stranger Things isn't special?
No big anniversary episode, nothing like that. We're just gonna do what we do.
Just kidding. Everybody, welcome The Rock. You were supposed to do like a Rock impression.
I don't have a Rock impression.
You smell what the Project Infinite podcast is cooking?
That was good. Nailed it. There he is.
Yeah.
The Rock, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was just The Rock.
All right, he's got to go.
Yeah.
He's very busy.
Yeah, he's got stuff. He's got Black Adam.
Yeah, he came in for a 1-second cameo appearance.
There's just going to be random cameos. Just wait until Denzel and Tom Hanks come out.
He's going to fly back to his, what does he call it? Iron Paradise? Iron Island? Whatever it's called.
This episode was almost, I tried to spend this episode for the longest time as a Denzel versus Tom Hanks debate. That this has like been a running joke that we've had just between the two of us for forever.
Yeah. But unfortunately, there's so many things happening.
Unfortunately, Stranger Things has a chokehold on the entire world.
Yeah, so this was going to be a thing. We were going to do Stranger Things separate from Thor, but then we were just like, how about we just do Stranger Things and Thor? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to
Stranger Thor.
We're going to talk about the season finale of Stranger Things, the final 2 episodes, and we're going to do a little preview for Thor Love and Thunder, which comes out this week. But first, we do have some news.
There's always news.
There's always news. News never stops. And the first bit of news I have, because it's a rule, and that Dune got pushed back.
Yep, it's the rule of 2. Just like Star Wars. It's either Dune news or Oppenheimer news.
Yeah, so Dune got pushed back. What was the original release date?
I believe, what's the new release date?
November 2023.
I believe it wasn't it
next year?
Yeah, I think it was the end of next year.
Yeah. So now it's November of next year. Instead of, I think, was it August or September?
Yeah, I believe
something like
so.
That, yeah.
No, I think it was later. I think it was October, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's got pushed back like a month.
But I'm not surprised. I'm not really overly surprised. Yeah, I mean,
we're just getting started.
Yeah, I mean, if Top Gun's taught us anything, sometimes things getting pushed back might be for the better.
Top Gun, which is still making money.
Absolute insanity.
1.1 billion now.
Oh my! I think it's close. I think it's 1.2 after 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, the last thing I saw was 1.1, but yeah, it's probably almost at 1.2 now, almost if not past that. So yeah, I'm fine generally with delays. I don't think they're really that big a deal. If in anything, movies, TV, video games, whatever the case, delays are not necessarily a bad thing. So cool. As long as give him as long as he needs.
Yeah, I mean,
the next one.
This cast is going to be amazing. I mean, Austin Butler. It's weird. I watched there was just a clip of him acting on iCarly and just like, typical boy of the week, and now he's playing opposite Timothée Chalamet in like the new big sci-fi world, and he was just Elvis. Like, time is telling him everything. So good for you, Austin Butler. It seems like you're going to be one of the bright stars in Hollywood. So
yep,
that accent's sticking strong, though.
So from Dune to Bond, which the creators of Bond, the proprietors of the Bond franchise have said that the next Bond film is at least 2 years away from filming. So we're looking probably like 4 years away from release. They want to make this a complete reinvention of the character, obviously moving on from Daniel Craig. That can mean a multitude of things. It could mean we could be going back to the 60s. It means we could be keeping it modern day.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of the theories that we might get like a more of a young, like just like what they did with Uncharted, do a younger version of Bond, like see him, coming up through the training of the MI6, to be the, prominent and everlasting character that he is. Or they can just do just a brand new Bond. We'll just start over. I do like the idea of it is taking place in the 60s and it is like a new age Bond. I think that would be a pretty interesting concept. But I mean, if it's a new age Bond, George McKay might be an interesting idea. The only thing is he did the King's Man, so it would be pretty, I mean,
Similar,
it's right,
yeah.
way too similar. I mean, Tom Holland's always a choice, but Tom Holland already did the thing where you were, you know, a younger version of a super popular character. So, you know, my pick's Henry Cavill. You know, my director choice is Denis Villeneuve. I think that would be a match made in heaven. Let Greg Fraser shoot the movie. Let, I don't know, Ludwig Göransson or who am I thinking of? Michael Giacchino, whoever, Hans Zimmer score the movie. It'll be amazing. I have full out trust after the last 3 Bond movies. I have full trust, and we just don't talk about the second Bond movie in the Craig franchise. Everything besides that is pretty solid, pretty great.
And, I mean, we did an episode on No Time to Die. We both really liked it.
Yeah, we did.
So
it was campy. It was more campy than I thought it would be.
Yeah. So I bet you didn't think that we'd get breaking Marvel news out of a Marvel Cruise thing, but. Mm-hmm. That's what I have in my notes here. Marvel Cruise thing.
Yeah, I think you have just Marvel Cruise ? Is this real?
Yeah. So some stuff came out of this, including what is potentially the new Avengers team.
Yeah. That's super important. So
it's Ant-Man and Wasp. It's Captain America,
Yep.
Sam Wilson. It's Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, and Kamala Khan.
Yeah, and
we got our first look at Kamala Khan in the costume before the show gave
right,
us
which was interesting.
the costume.
I do think she's getting, because episode 5, by the time you guys are hearing this, episode 5 will be out tomorrow morning, and I do think that she will have the suit before, like, I think this week is when she gets the suit, but I agree with you, that is early, and that is an interesting way. And then I did see this promo image, like not a still image, but it's like a marketing image on like a poster of She-Hulk as well, like in the She-Hulk costume. So I do think she's the 6th member of what this new Avengers would look like. So we did beg the question before, this world doesn't have an Avengers right now, and I think that's the next step, is to get the world a team in Avengers, and I think Miss Marvel's going to be more prominent to that than anticipated from before. So I do think this is an interesting team. It's a pretty strong team if you think about it. I mean, Captain Marvel and She-Hulk alone are pretty powerful. You have like the dynamic duo of Ant-Man and Wasp, and then Miss Marvel quickly is showing herself to be a pretty compelling character, in my opinion. We'll talk about that when we get to the review, but I mean, a quick 4-episode, just like 30-second review so far of Miss Marvel, no spoilers. It's good. This is probably the most compelled I've been by a story for all these Disney Plus shows so far. It's probably this and Loki have me the most like attached to like the characters and like what this story is going to unfold for the larger MCU. Like it's a lot Yeah.
And I think people in general who are watching it are really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed. Like the people that are watching the show are taking a real liking to Kamala, and I think the world itself, this kind of dichotomy between her superhero and herself to, what the demands of, her race and her religion do to a young Muslim girl in New Jersey. Like, it is really interesting. Like, I think they're going to play that up even more in the Marvels, and like how maybe you can't just go out and save the world, and they're dealing with it right now in the show. So I'm really intrigued by what these last 2 episodes have.
Me too.
And I can't wait to review this one, because I think it might be like one of the hidden gems out of the MCU. I kind of count these shows as like movies itself. So like if and when we do an MCU ranking, like we'll put the shows into a ranking, because everything's out of season 1. There's no season 2 at this point. Right.
I didn't put this down, but I forgot to mention the Wakanda Forever got some kind of concept arty stuff.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the big one to come out of this is we've seen our first appearance of Namor in the MCU.
Yep.
How you liking the look?
Good.
I think it's cool. I think that's a really interesting look for Namor.
It's a nice twist on the classic look for Namor, where he looks kind of goofy, to be honest. In the comics.
Does. This guy wears he looks like the Deep from The Boys, just without like the pants and the shirt. Yeah, without the top piece. That's what he looks like.
in this, the look that we got of him in this, I really like it. It's very regal, it looks almost like Aztec.
Well, that's the spin they made for Namor this time. This Namor is supposed to be instead of from I think he is from Atlantis, but it has more ties to Aztec culture. I could be wrong, but I know it's not the normal classic Namor, the classic Namor origin from the comics. Which I mean, I'm never going to be tied to like this needs to be exactly the origin from the not anymore. The MCU and DCU have showed us that you could deviate and everything will
absolutely
be fine.
Yeah. We got to look at Shuri and Okoye also, and then what else?
The other big one was Riri Williams. We might have seen the Mach 1 version of her Iron Man suit, and again, we'll see how people take to her having her own Iron Man suit and her essentially being the new Iron Man. That's what they're kind of shaping up to me. I did think it was going to be Nathaniel Richards. It could still be Nathaniel Richards, but we'll see how that goes going forward. But the MIT subplot, I guess, will play large into Wakanda forever.
Yeah, seems that way. So, I mean, that's still coming next year, right?
No, I believe it's this year. I think this is the last movie of this year.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Whew. This Marvel stuff does not slow down.
No, it does not. We've gotten more content than we've ever gotten. And we're still getting She-Hulk this year.
Yeah. So Avatar 2 is, again, we're slowly ramping up, and James Cameron doesn't give a damn whether or not you want his movie to be short.
Yeah.
You're just going to get what you get.
Doesn't care. I love it.
I love it too. It's great.
Yeah.
He's just like, look, I don't care. I don't care. If you think it's too long, I know people are going to hate on it because like people are going to troll it. Like, you know, if it's going to make as much money as the last one, I don't care. Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
getting what you get.
That's the beauty with storytelling, right? Like,
so the runtime is reportedly 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Like from the inside looking out, not that because the outside looking in. Oh, this movie's too long, whatever. And I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to Stranger Things. You don't know until you see it. Maybe it needs to be this long. We won't know. But I'm so excited to get back to the world of Pandora, especially after that first trailer. Mm-hmm. That first trailer just had this beautiful feeling to it, like how like just nourishing this world is, and like how euphoric just looking at these like images that you hadn't seen in so long, this world we fell in love with. It's just so.
Did we know Kate Winslet was in this?
I believe so. I think we knew like early that she was in this.
And then
that's like a deep diver, right?
And then Sigourney Weaver is apparently going to be Jake and Neytiri's daughter.
Yeah, I think they're just using the motion capture of her to play their daughter, which is it's just a nice way to keep her around because she was an integral part to the first Avatar.
Super interesting.
Yeah, I'm really
excited.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited.
That trailer, man, that trailer got me
so good. I just have here Minions ?
I didn't think we were going to talk about this, but as the first and foremost. You know, forget IGN, forget all those other. We're the first and foremost on movies, TVs, comics, games, whatever you want to call it. Guys. You guys gotta relax. So, TikTok's a thing, right? I can't believe I have to talk about this. We have to address it. So TikTok's a thing. TikTok's the new, like the biggest social media platform as of right now.
Yeah.
And there's like film talk on there, and like the running joke is like Minions: Rise of Gru is going to be cinema. Like this is a movie Martin Scorsese himself would love. So I was trying to explain this to somebody, and they weren't getting it, and I was like, "You don't understand. Like it's like an inside joke. Like it's like they're not serious, but so a group of kids." You know, it doesn't have to be kids, but mostly they're kids are like so they're dressing up in suits. And they're going to the theaters and having like full out parties in the theaters with their friends to watch this movie as a joke. Because like I said, it's like, what if we just made this seem as if this was like, you know, The Godfather, like just as a joke. And then it got serious. Uh-huh. And then this movie made $200 million this weekend. That is absolute insanity for a Minions movie. $200 million for the memes. And so it's gotten out of hand. The police were called to multiple theaters. There was like a full out like party in one of the theaters. They weren't even watching the movie. They were just dancing around like.
Sony's trying to figure out where they went wrong.
Yeah. So Sony, what you didn't do, Sony came on too late because they realized it was a joke before, and they said, and then we informed them quickly that we weren't laughing with you, we were laughing at you. And Minions knew we're gonna get the Gen Z kids, and we're gonna secretly influence on TikTok to keep this going. Don't kill it. Because those studios don't care about the cops being called or people's experience being ruined. They care about money. And guess how much they got money this weekend? We're gonna get a million Minions movies. I hope you guys know that. I can't believe I'm talking about this.
It's amazing.
It's insanity.
It's everything that Morbius
thought it was
going to be.
Like, people are wearing suits with their friends to these
people
movies.
Are getting banned.
No, they're getting banned. Like, I saw a video of one of the employees having to go out before the movie and say, if you are recording, the cops will be called. If you scream, yell, clap, the cops will be called. You will be removed from the theater. Like, all these, like, there's signs, like, in almost every theater. Are you guys ready for this? If you wear a suit to the theater, you will be removed.
Shut up! Formal wear is getting banned from movie theaters.
Formal wear, you will be banned.
2022. What a strange time.
What a strange time is right.
And speaking of strange times, what a segue.
Anything happened in Hawkins recently?
Man, strange things, as I said in the last episode when we talked about strange things just keep happening in Hawkins.
And you know what the strangest thing is? Having your main character not matter to the plot this season.
You're coming around. You're coming around on my mic take. Because we did finally get the final 2 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4. So this is Season 4, Volume 2. It was a combined 4-hour extravaganza.
Yeah.
Roughly.
The season itself was a long... I think this equates to like a 12-episode season or something like that, if they were like 40 to 50 minutes or something around there.
Real quick, at the end of the last part, for those of you who weren't awake a month ago.
Yeah. You guys are still running up that hill. We'll give you some time.
Yeah, so the big mic drop at the end of the last part was that Vecna, the big bad of season 4, is the one, not Neo, but one, who was the orderly in the Hawkins lab. He had all sorts of crazy powers. He murdered all the other people in the Hawkins lab, all the other children, and 11 sent him to the Shadow Realm, the Upside Down.
But not only was he number 1, the original recipe...
He was number 1.
Yeah. Not only was he number 1, he was Henry Creel, Victor Creel's son.
Yes.
In that house. All those years ago.
Yes.
Wow. I still one of the best reveals I've seen in TV.
It's a pretty fantastic reveal that ties together, like we sectioned off the plots.
Yeah,
the A plot, the B plot, the C plot, and this tied together the A and the B plot.
Yeah,
with the Hawkins plot and the 11 plot.
Right.
That we were with 11 and Mike and Will and Jonathan.
You have the same disdain for Mike that like Russo had for Frank Castle in The Punisher.
Mike. All right, so let's get into it then. So episode
Michael. Shout out Morbius, Matt Smith. Here's our next special guest for the 50th episode, Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, ladies and gentlemen,
from Morbius and Doctor Who.
Play that weird song, whatever that song was. So episode 8 is called Papa, right? So it's funny that we talked a lot about Star Wars the last couple of weeks, right? Because this last bit
is Empire. It's Empire.
So 11, we pick up, and 11's getting her groove back. We get to the big. She sends Vecna to the Upside Down, and she pulls out, and she's like, "I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rumble."
Yeah, I know what I must do.
Yeah,
I just don't know if I.
And Brenner playing evil Yoda.
Yeah.
Is like, absolutely not.
Don't do this. You're not powerful enough.
Your friends are gonna die, and then 11 very reasonably is like, they're gonna die anyway.
Right.
Like. What's the difference whether or not they die now or they die later?
Right.
And then you have the good cop, the good doctor,
Paul Reiser. Everybody loves Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser's like, pulling double duty with the boys in this.
Yeah, and he's like, "Look, Brenner, if she wants to go, like
she can go,
and I'm gonna take her there." And Brenner's like, "You will try."
Yeah. And I mean, not for nothing to be on Brenner's side for just a second.
Oh, all right.
I mean,
dig yourself out of this hole.
Yeah. Does he not have just a slight of a point? Because it's more of the greater good type of thing. Like, it's like, oh, she wants to go, but at the end of the day, there is a full out rift into an alternate dimension that's opening. He wants to make sure she's properly powerful to do this. And like, I think he's looking at this more of like a greater good perspective type of thing.
Yeah.
I do not agree with that because she's a child. Right. She's like a 15-year-old girl that
and
just
she's already done heaps of horrible things to her.
And Brenner's an abusive father. Yeah,
he's the worst. He's absolutely terrible.
Brenner's like the Darkhold to like Paul Reiser's Book of Ashanti.
That's a good one.
It is good.
So yeah, 11's getting ready to vacate. Meanwhile, in the van, the Surfer Boy van, Mike and Will and Jonathan and Argyle are just driving.
Will cries so much in this episode.
But this is justified. This part is justified.
Yes,
so this is a really great scene for Will. Not such a great scene for Mike.
This is the best acting he's had since season 2, since the Mind Flayer took over his body. This is
not such a good scene for Mike because so
he's so oblivious. That's one of the issues.
He's comically oblivious.
Yeah.
So Mike is, you've heard me rant and rave about this guy, about how he's not he doesn't feel like a main character anymore. Mm-mm. Not since season 1, 2 has Mike really felt like a main character.
Right.
And guess what Mike's doing in this scene? He's having a main character identity crisis. He's like, shoot, Will, am I a main character?
Yeah.
Or am I just 11's motivation?
Yeah. Barely.
And so this is a really beautifully kind of written scene where Will is confessing his feelings for Mike through using 11 as a stand-in. Mm-hmm. It's a really great moment.
I think so. It's one of the best moments that Noah Schnapp has had in this show as well.
So he's just explaining like, no, man, you're this great guy. You're the heart of this whole crew. This, that, and the other thing. He shows him the painting that he's been working on. He says that 11 had him commission it, but he did it himself.
Yeah, right.
And then freaking Mike, man, just is not picking up what Will's putting down at all.
And I understand. It's his best friend since childhood.
I get that. But what I don't understand is Will turns to the window and is just sobbing to the point where Jonathan, who's driving the truck, and notices. He notices, and Mike is just like, "Thanks, Will. You're the best.
You're my best friend. That I didn't remember your birthday in the first part of the season."
Not a great scene for Mike.
Mike's been struggling since season 3.
Yeah.
Mike got dumped.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to say about Mike because...
No, I mean, that's true. There's not a lot to say about him. He doesn't really have...
He gets a little bit in the last episode.
But that's through Will as well. Like, all this is bought out through Will. Like, Will's his saving grace to get him any sort of... He doesn't have any character arc this season. He just feels dull and the same as he did since season 2. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, the meme of, like, season 1 Mike would have slapped season 4 Mike around.
Yeah.
It's true. Because when you go back to season 1, this was a kid, who was literally willing to dive off a cliff for his best friend.
Right.
And now he's just, like... head in the clouds, like just detached from everything.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. It's like they took what Mike was and gave bits and pieces of him to every other character.
Everybody else except for him. No, I agree.
And now Mike has nothing left.
Yeah, like Dustin.
And I love Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, me too. Dustin is better off being the main character of this party than he does.
Yeah,
and I think it shows. Like Dustin was integral to finding multiple pieces. I mean, his girlfriend saved the day in season 3, or helped save the day. Like Dustin's so much more integral.
He's the emotional tether to the adult kids.
Yeah, I think that Lucas is probably the most dynamic in terms of the inner battle that he has, because he's the first. This is like the first example of like one of the big high school tropes of like leaving your friends to find some new friends and kind of battling with yourself to see what you're gonna be in high school.
Yeah. So picking up with that, the second crew. We didn't get to the third crew yet. The second crew of Eddie, Steve, Nancy, the adults.
Yeah.
Adults, quote unquote.
The adults plus
Dustin.
Yeah.
And Lucas and Erica. They're just getting ready to fight Vecna.
Yeah, no, it's I love it, and what I love the play is they gotta feel
and
Max, yeah, and they gotta feel a little high and mighty on themselves and a little confident, because up until this point they've come across Demogorgon they hadn't lost. They'd come up against the Demodogs, haven't lost. And then, moreover, they came up against the Mind Flayer without Eleven's powers directly in the last episode and haven't failed. So they do think that their plan could hold some prominence and, it can hold some power. And, I mean, not for nothing, it does for a little bit. It is a pretty smart plan. It's not like the Tony Stark, not a great plan. Like, it's a solid plan that
they lay
have.
out this whole multiple step process involving Max basically provoking Vecna because they figure out that he can't.
Well, I mean, they figure out so the very beginning that we find out, the rest of the crew learns out that Vecna's won. That's what they need to know first.
Well, because Nancy saw it all.
Yeah, and
Vecna showed Nancy, and he gave her it's like the horror movie trope of like the girl who survives. He's like, I won. Like he could have killed her.
Right, but he said, I want you to tell everybody what's about to happen.
Go back and tell them what's about to happen.
Right, and what's cool about that too is, and again, why Dustin is the leader of the kid party or the younger teen party is that Dustin immediately is just like, well, we know Eleven's strengths, so Vecna's gonna have the same strength, so he's gonna have the same weakness. So if he's in this other realm, then he's not gonna have any. He's just gonna be, vulnerable. There. Yeah,
like a scarecrow.
Right. And guess what?
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Yeah.
Is they're gonna use Max because they also figure out that the murders are coordinated in a way that he needs to kill four people.
Yeah, because there's 4 ticks of the clock.
Yeah, and that's going to open up the gates, basically the gates of the Upside Down, merge with Hawkins and yada yada.
And then the rest of the world.
Yeah, so they're trying to rack their brains, like trying to figure out who the next victim is, and Max is like, "It's me."
Yeah, she's just like I can still feel him in my he's still in my mind. It's gonna be I will be the last one.
Yeah, so I have to be the one to do this, and they're like, "All right." So they're gonna basically use Max to provoke Vecna, and because they figure out through what Eleven's weaknesses are that he has to kind of like plug in,
right,
and then he's vulnerable,
right,
and Lucas is like, "Absolutely not."
Right, no. Before we get into, because I want to just talk about Lucas and Max for a little bit, because wow,
fantastic.
Maybe they're battling with Steven, this little love triangle between Steve, Jonathan.
They're battling with Joyce and Hopper at this point.
Yeah, this really solidified it. We get to the C plot. We jump back to Russia. They're quote.
I hated this.
You did. Interesting.
Yeah,
real interesting.
I couldn't believe that they get out.
And they have to go. So basically what happens is they're out. But as they're walking through, they see the shadow form of the Mind Flayer. They see the particles, and they see Demodogs and Demogorgons and like just tubes, and they're like, what is this place?
What is going on in Russia?
What's going on in Russia?
But they're like, let's get out.
Yeah, let's leave, because this has not been a fun last 2 days that we've had to get here. And then obviously, because what's the the double crossing Russian's name?
Which one? Yuri?
Yeah, Yuri. Yuri had one of the greatest character arcs in the show history. You can't change my mind. But basically, they go back to Yuri. They have Yuri dead to rights. Yuri's like, wait, I can get you guys out of here if you keep me alive. And they're like, oh, God. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, we're the Russia team. They're just trying to get out. But then they're kind of figuring things out. Like, why is all this stuff? Why do they have all this stuff? But it's a hive mind. Keep that in mind, that Vecna's kind of controlling everything, because we did learn from the last part of that is that because we thought the Mind Flayer was it. But then you realize that it's the other way around. But yeah, I don't want to jump the gun too much on that, because that's a big reveal in the final episode. But they steal a van. They're like, we need weapons. We're gonna fight, the strongest of the strong. We're gonna fight the Thanos of this thing. We need some weapons. So they go to get some weapons, and who do they run into?
Oh, we're going back to the kids.
Yeah, we're going back to the. We're going back to the gun.
They go to the gun store. Jason's there.
Oh, God,
the worst.
He's the worst. He's a bigger villain than
you would think Vecna's the worst.
No,
nah, man.
Jason's
the
horrible.
Worst. He's like backdoor threatening Nancy.
He's like, where's your brother, Nancy? And she's just like, California?
Get out of my face, you freaking
bro.
You Joel Osteen weirdo. as you coined him.
Oh, did I say that? Moving on. So yeah, basically he's threatening her. He's just like, hey, you should probably give up your brother, because I will get justice for Chrissy. Why did you say that name?
Yeah. But meanwhile, Robin sees her potential flinging with a guy, and she's like, oh, man.
Crap. Found out the whole basketball team's like... what I thought was really good about this scene, too, is that the gun shop is bouncing. It's jumping in there. And I was like, at first I was like, why is there so many people in there? And I realized that the entire town's like, we need to kill this Hellfire Club because they're just... the kids are being sacrificed.
And you're like, man, this would never happen in the real world.
Well... I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So that's the next part of their plan. Is they're just gonna kill Vecna with heaps of guns,
heaps of guns,
and
spears,
and Molotovs. And then the third bit of the plan is Dustin and Eddie are gonna gear up for a distraction, whatever.
Yeah.
And
not a great plan.
Not a great plan. We'll get to that. So what else happens? Oh, I mean, the big thing that comes out of this episode, and why I kind of had a weird, not problem with it, but why it felt like this episode could have been tacked to the last part, because the big thing that happens at this is Eleven's big escape. So she's ready to go, and then guess what? The military shows up.
The bad military.
Well, before that, she has a confrontation with Brenner.
Yeah,
because Brenner's like, you're not leaving.
Yeah. So Brenner's like, I'm not asking anymore.
Yeah, he locks Owens up. He uses his crew to lock Owens up in the thing.
And then he tells her like, if you try to leave,
I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, if you don't let me,
he's the good doctor.
and she's like, if you don't let me leave, I'm gonna kill you.
And I'll kill everybody in this place.
I'll kill everybody.
How dare
here.
you touch Owens? We love Owens.
I'll kill everybody here.
Yeah.
They have it's a really good moment for Millie Bobby Brown in that, she's like, you're the worst.
Yeah.
Basically, it's what that is.
Brenner gets added to the bad dad list.
Yeah.
Is he worse than Oliver Queen?
No.
Oliver Queen? Is he worse than Robert Queen? Maybe. Is he worse than Odin?
No.
Odin's the
worst.
He's the worst dad. He's a biblically horrible dad.
So she's like, all right, that's it. I've had enough of you. Because he tries to trank her.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's it.
Yeah.
You're going up. You're going up?
Yeah.
You're going up. She throws him against the wall. And then guess what? The military's here. The bad military. My man walks in with his hat in his hand. Classic bad military general move.
That's what Keith David made his whole career off of.
Sees the girl, basically, or kill the girl. We're not even seizing. Right. We're killing at this point.
Paul Reiser, before this, Owens is trying to bargain, be like, I'm telling you, she's not the one doing these. How is she doing the killing? She's here. Like, how is she? It's not her. That's
so Eleven and Brenner are escaping.
Right.
Brenner's guys are getting mowed down.
Oh yeah, whatever strike team they had are elite.
I mean, they just had shields.
Yeah. It was a bit comical for a second.
So Brenner and 11 get out, and there's a helicopter, Top Gun Maverick style, helicopter descending down on the heroes. I mean, Brenner's not a hero.
To you.
There's a real bad sniper in the helicopter.
Oh, he's horrible. He's so bad. He's laughably bad. He should be a stormtrooper.
He's missing a bunch. He hits Brenner once, hits him in the leg.
Yeah.
And then he hits him in the chest.
Yeah.
You'd think that would kill him. But not quite.
Brenner sticks around for it's not
a while.
A sniper round is just right through his chest, and this guy's just still kicking.
And this guy's like, I got the shot on the girl. And then this is the scene you're talking about where Owens is pleading with him, and he's like, please don't kill 11. She's probably the only chance we have of the world getting destroyed by the Shadow Demon. And the guy's like, kill her.
Yeah.
And then guess who rolls up? The Surfer Squad.
Hilarious.
And the sniper's like, I got civilians. I probably shouldn't try to murder this girl in front of civilians.
Yeah, and he's like, murder all the civilians. Does it look like I care? The military.
So this guy, the sniper just starts firing rounds.
Oh my god.
And he's just missing everything.
It's hilarious.
And then 11's like, I gotcha.
Yeah.
And she gets a hold of the helicopter.
And she does her best Rey from the Rise of Skywalker impression.
And he's still shooting. Yeah. He's still missing.
Where do you get all the Star Destroyers from?
Where do you get all the sniper bullets?
Where do you get all the sniper bullets from?
She crashes the helicopter.
Oh, and one of the best action scenes of this show. Oh, it was amazing.
And then the surfer crew was like, oh my god, that's 11. And Argyle's like, oh my god, there's so many dead people.
Why are there bodies around?
And they're like,
Somebody-
man, you just got here.
Yeah.
We're used to
Arguably, is Argyle more important to the plot than Mike is? Argyle... Oh, we'll wait till we get to the season finale, because
Yeah.
Argyle was active.
He was getting stuff done.
Yeah, he was.
And also just hilarious.
Immaculate vibes from Argyle.
From Argyle and from the whole surfer boy pizza
Yeah.
chain.
What's the over-under we get a surfer boy pizza chain? I think that would be cool.
That would be
They
very
had a
cool.
Stranger Things like event for the season 2 premiere, and it was like they had this cool thing, and it was like they had a surfer boy pizza in there. I think they should make that a real thing.
I should also note, before she crashed the helicopter, Brenner unlocked her collar.
Yeah, so she's arguably more powerful than before.
Yeah. And then they have a moment
Mm-hmm.
where he's like... basically.
Yeah.
And she's like... She's torn up about this, because that is her, like, father
Yeah,
figure.
right. It's tough. It's like, and I think even more to add to that, she thinks Hopper's dead at this point, so that is her only father figure that was left.
Meanwhile, Will and Mike are probably in the background like, is that Brenner?
Yeah, is that the guy that she? Yeah,
Is that the guy from season 1?
Yeah, hold on. That was very dead, right?
He got his throat ripped out by a Demogorgon.
Yeah,
Or so we thought.
or is he?
Is he dead?
That's out. See, that's what I said. Is he dead? That's not the only character that I'm in question as if they're gone.
Brenner's gonna pull a Doctor Strange. It's
Yeah.
gonna take more than killing me to kill me. We'll see what
Is
happens
that
next
what
season.
Eleven's gonna say at the end of season 5? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to hell.
And then we get like a montage bit about
Shout out Journey.
Shout Out Journey. Just we're gonna talk about songs
And
For the
how
next episode?
how to mix music
because
with
the next
score.
episode has two of my favorite musical moments.
So
maybe ever.
amazing.
Yeah, so this is the big montage of the A crew gearing up to fight Vecna. They're getting ready to descend upon the home, and we're getting ready to roll. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that all the? Do we hit everything?
Yeah.
that happens basically.
Yeah, we can save the Mike and Mac, or not. Sorry, we can save the Lucas and Mac stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying
Boy,
to think.
we're here.
Yeah, this is the finale.
Yeah, and I mean, before we get into it, it's just inspired. I think I said it last time, but it was an inspired choice in hindsight to
I feel
split
like
the
this,
season.
Like I said, a quick bit ago, I feel like this episode, this last one, could have stood on its own.
Yeah.
And they could have tacked episode 8 onto the block release.
Yeah.
Because that ending montage of them getting ready to fight Vecna,
Yeah.
as much of a cliffhanger as
Right, the
episode
Vecna,
7
yeah.
was, that episode, imagine if that episode 8 cliffhanger was the cliffhanger.
Right, mixed with them getting ready to fight him and then just learning. Yeah, that would have been.
And
really
then we would have had to wait a month.
Yeah, for like for essentially a movie.
like a movie.
You're right.
You know what I mean? That's
Right.
why I feel like episode 8 was good, but I felt like it felt a little
Out of
flat
place, yeah.
to me because it didn't feel like it was part of this big finale.
Right.
It felt like it could have just been tacked on.
Right.
But
However, I do think the last 3 minutes helped.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, like the last 10 minutes at the 11. Finally, it's like your hero gets unlocked. Like their powers are fully fledged now, and then you're setting up your big third act finale battle last episode. And
so what is episode 9 called?
It's called the Piggyback.
There you go.
And it's really interesting how, because I looked at the episode title, I'm like, what?
Yeah, but they explain it
Yeah,
as
they
they
do.
often do. Based
Right.
on the episode names, usually segue somehow into the episode.
Right.
So yeah, where does episode 9 take off?
Russia. We're back in Russia. Finally. Somebody cue Marvin Gaye. Because there's some sexual tension. Hopper and Joyce, it happens.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Mm.
Yeah. They finally kiss. They're together.
Improvised, as
yeah.
we come to learn.
Yeah.
Just great bit of acting.
Shout out, Winona Ryder.
David Harbour.
Was it? I thought it was Winona Ryder.
Was it? I thought they were both kind of did this.
Oh.
Like in tandem.
Because they love each other in real life?
Don't start any. Don't start any drama.
I can't, yeah. Because she's definitely married. I don't know about
I think
David
they're both
Harbour.
married.
Yeah. Moving on.
Not to each other either.
Yeah, not to each other. Moving on.
Yeah, so Russia.
Yeah. So the big thing, they're just trying to they're trying to get out.
You would think.
So basically, what we forgot to mention last time too is that they made a phone call. They made a collect call to America because they're like, "Can you guys get us out of here? Like, you guys."
Well, they want to call Owens, right?
Right, but then Owens, the woman that was in the first part of the season, like the one that sent the two agents to their house, and then the one agent just had the greatest action scene in this entire show. That guy's the GOAT. Shout out that guy. That's the true death of the season that still haunts me to this day. That's the one. Who cares about what we talk about in the next X amount of minutes? That was the one that hit me. He had a mad dramatic death with a pen. It's like, oh man.
What does he know? Everything. He has the key.
Yeah, he does. So basically they're like, we need to call, but and then Murray's like, all right, you can call, but the KGB is going to be on us as soon as we call. So you need to make this a coded call on how this works. So before they call back, they're like, she tells Hopper, like, be careful before you pick up that phone. So we don't know. That doesn't get paid off until the end of this, but
because this episode's 2.5 hours
right,
long.
it is. It's a long, but you don't feel it. I felt
it at the end.
Okay, I will give you at the end a little bit. You can feel it.
There's we'll talk about the epilogue bit, which I wasn't super crazy about
until the end ends. Until the end.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
We'll get there.
The epilogue was a little long because I did look and I was like, "There's another 25 minutes left. What's going on?" All right, so we're back. We're back in the Upside Down. They've got the plan. They're ready to go.
Well, so who? Erica, Max, and Lucas stay in the right side up world, and then everybody else goes into the Upside Down. Dustin and Eddie are diversion team. Steve, Nancy, and Robin are kill Vecna.
Yeah,
team.
they're alpha, and they're out. They're
alpha beta. Yeah, alpha beta team.
And Dustin and Eddie are Charlie team. So cool. They're all Steve, Nancy, and Robin, they take off, they're ready, and Steve's just like, all right, don't do anything stupid while we're gone. And Eddie's like, we're no heroes. We're the best friend type characters.
Something pretty awful is probably going to happen to one of us.
Why would you say that? Why would you ever say that? So, we get back with the California crew. They've got Elle. Man, we get a good bit out of this, at least.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and we know why the episode's called Piggyback. Elle's got a plan. She says, they're like, we need to get back to Hawkins ASAP, and they're like, we're in California, and this is like, we don't have time to get back there. Like, there's no time. Like,
so Eleven's like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have superpowers.
Yeah. You what?
She what?
She what? So cool. She's got her powers. She's just like, what I'm gonna do.
She's gonna Professor X.
Yeah, really smart. She's going to basically project herself into Max's mind and fight Vecna that way instead of going to Hawkins.
Because she's like, I know what they're doing.
Right.
Like, I know what their plan is.
Right.
It ain't gonna work.
No, it's not. Yeah, she immediately realized, she's like, they're all going to get themselves killed if this happens. So I'm going to go mind fight Vecna instead of physically fight him.
Classic mind fight. Yeah. Classic Professor X mind fight.
Yeah. Mike's just standing there.
He's just standing there menacingly.
Yeah. And enter one of the MVPs of this season. Enter Argyle. Argyle is like, all right.
Yeah, because they're like, she needs to be like...
Yeah, she needs a sensory deprivation tank. And Argyle's like...
Where are we going to get one of those?
No, and Argyle's like, did you not know that I'm the GOAT? You guys need... They're like, where are we going to get salt from in a bathtub? He's just like... Here's the perks of having a Surfer Boy t-shirt and having marijuana on me. Let's go to a Surfer Boy pizza. And then we meet like an Earth 2 Argyle that's working behind the counter. And I'm going to call that guy Argyle 2. So Argyle 2 is just like, hey bro, I'm just about to go to Taco Bell, smoke some stuff with my friend. And he's just like, Jonathan's just like, what if we give you more weed?
What if we give you better weed?
What if we give you better weed? And he's just like, all right, see ya.
I'm in.
Because it's the 80s and not present day. So he just leaves. Hilarious. Amazing.
And then, they start prepping Eleven's Cerebro.
Yeah, that is 11 Cerebro. Great call out. So she's in her, they're getting the tank ready. Her and Mike are having a nice little heart-to-heart. They're like, I love you. And Will's just like, God.
Yeah, but there's a really nice scene with Will and Jonathan.
Yeah.
I think a bit after...
Yeah, well, Will sees it through he sees them like, forehead to forehead.
And then Jonathan sees Will seeing it.
Yeah, and Jonathan's just like, buddy, I know.
And then, yeah, and then like, the show's like, remember that they're brothers?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause they don't talk about that for a while.
Remember that they're brothers? And we're like, oh yeah, we do remember
when
brothers.
Jonathan was a little less of a, little less,
When he was a little more capable?
Now he's just basically dazed and confused.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
But they have a really nice, like, brother moment where
Right.
Jonathan's like, look, man, I know what's going on here. And to be fair, they probably could have went a little further with this instead of doing all the subtext, because, like, I felt like the scene in the car was, like, the appropriate amount of subtext, and we could have had, like, a full moment here. I mean, they get close.
Yeah, I think what Jonathan needed was probably a little bit more confirmation, because he saw them looking at them, so I think he realized that's what... Because he probably didn't know that was the full extent of it, but then he knew right away after they were in the pizza shop, that he's like, oh, that's what it is. Like, he knew he was upset. But...
You remember that time when you stuck a Lego up your nose or whatever?
Yeah.
And Will was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, remember? He's like, not really.
Yeah, he's like, I remember it. Remember that... Like, I helped you and with that.
Remember we're brothers?
Yeah. You can talk to me about whatever, man. And he's like, you can talk to me about whatever. And then they don't talk about anything. They
don't talk about anything. That's the thing.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the moment. The confirmation. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Missed the trick there. Stranger Things. Do we go back to... Are we back in Russia yet?
No, we're back with the... We're
prepping.
We're up with the right side up team. And... Ooh. Shout out Lucas, man.
Yeah.
They were
Caleb McLaughlin.
Yeah, they were active. This is by far the best he's been in this show. It's not even remotely close. This is the best he's been.
And Sadie Sink just continues. To be absolutely incredible.
I think I presented to you, and I know it's like a bold claim, but I said amongst the kids, she might be the best actor amongst the kids. Like she is really her.
You know what it is? I think she's the most versatile.
Yeah, I think so too. Because she had a lot of fun in season 2. Season 2 she was really like mysterious and like the new girl on the block. Season 3 she had like a lot more fun. And then season 4 she had to deal with like a lot of tragedy. So that's such like a far range you have to kind of,
Yeah, she's definitely shown to be the most versatile out of all the kids, I think. But they're all really great across the board.
Yeah. Minus.
No, Phil Wolfhard is great.
No, he's good. No, that like all jokes aside,
it's not his fault.
No, it is not his fault.
No, hopefully the writing team has some stuff for him next season.
Yep. So they're in the Creel house. She's about to draw out Vecna. Basically, Erica goes to be kind of a lookout, and she's going to signal to them once it's time.
She has to use the lights
right
to communicate with the Upside Down team to let them know.
Right. While this is going on, Jason's just practicing his shooting, and then one of his generals comes by, and it's just like, boss, you're gonna want to take a look at this. Jason's like, I'm ready.
Show me.
Yeah.
His generals.
God, Jason, man, why can't you just listen for 5 seconds? You saw a man float out of the air, and you won't just
get his bone snapped.
Yeah, get his bone snapped. But you can't listen to us for 5 seconds? We're trying to explain to you.
He has like a comically large 357 Magnum.
Yeah, he does. That's it's like as big as Peacemaker's.
Like he's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, boss, you're gonna want to take a look at this.
That's exactly what that was. It's hilarious. So we're back in Russia. We're back with Hop. They answer the phone. The woman from earlier in the season answers, not Owens. She's just like, Owens is unavailable right now.
Would you like to take a message?
He's like,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here.
Yeah, help. All right, so we're back with this. That took place before we get to Surfboard Pizza, but we already talked about that. So now we're back with the A team. A team's ready to go. They're enacting their plan.
Dustin and Eddie are prepping.
Mm-hmm. And now they're starting to merge. So Elle finally makes contact, but Max doesn't know, obviously, but Elle makes contact. She's seeing what's going on, and she's like, oh, crap.
No, it's already started.
Yeah, it's already started. The ticking time bombs went off. It's like Arrow Season 1 with the undertaking. Like, oh, crap, it's too late. Oh.
Max is provoking. Well, I mean, before that, there's a really kind of touching, like, card moment.
Right, so they don't talk. They make sure
because they can't.
Yeah,
like they can't blow their spot.
Yeah, they're not wearing shoes. Like they need to be as quiet as possible so he doesn't realize they're there yet. Because that's where Krill's basically his base is in his old house
with his bats.
Yeah, with his bats. Man, Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Yeah, there's like we talked about, there's a great heart-to-heart with Lucas and Max. They're like drawing, and Lucas is basically like, you want to get back together? Because
I love you.
I love you.
I know.
Yeah. She is very Han Solo to his Leia.
Weird how that works, right?
Yeah, it is weird.
I like the gender flip there.
Is this just Star Wars?
This is so Empire Strikes Back.
It is very
crazy.
Empire. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, so they go up, they find Vecna with the little lanterns.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got him.
Yeah.
And then they go upstairs, and he goes upstairs, and then she's like, all right, I'm ready to go. She puts the Kate Bush down, and then Vecna just vanishes.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Where'd you go, mate? Yeah, man. So basically, that's going on, and before all this, Max basically said, like, Lucas asked her, like, how are you gonna stop him this time? Like, he already got you once. She's just like, well, basically, if a bad memory will attract him, maybe a good memory will, revoke him. And she's not wrong.
No.
It's tougher, though. It's not as simple as you would think that would be.
Yeah.
If this was like a Disney Channel show, it would work like that, but it's not.
Yeah. So she's trying to basically provoke Vecna.
Right.
He's not taking the bait.
No, he's not.
At first.
No, he's not. We get back to Russia. We learn a little bit more about what's going on. We're basically getting more on the fact that, like, Vecna's in control of everything. Like,
and they're like, Yuri, you're going to double cross us, right? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, unless you give me tons of money.
Yeah.
And they're like, look.
Yeah.
Look, you scoundrel. You're going to help us. You know why you're going to help us? Because this thing is going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
And Yuri's like, oh, man, that sounds real bad.
Yeah. Because, who's the other Russian they're with?
I can't remember his name.
Remember his name.
It's Jock and Hagar from Game of Thrones.
So Jock and Hagar from Game of Thrones, basically, it's a great moment because, they go back because they're like, we need to break back in. By the time we break back in, we need you to, Hopper tells him, like,
I get it, but it's so goofy.
Hopper's like, you need to get him to get this plane in the air and get us out of here.
Helicopter.
Yeah, or the helicopter. Get us out of here. You need to convince him. And I think it's a really smart way they did it because they couldn't crack Yuri. There was no way to crack in. And he goes, what's the problem? Like, what's your problem? Like, he tells him, like,
what's your beef?
Yeah, like, weren't you some great military leader before? And he's like, yeah. He's like, so look at you now. You're just a piece of crap, like, like double crossing, like, scammer. And he's like, maybe I'm not the villain. And then, like, he opens his hand and he's just like, and because before they're like, are you sabotaging the helicopter? They're like, maybe not. And then you find out he was because it's Yuri. And he's like, you know what? I'll get you guys out of here.
I'm going to unsabotage this helicopter.
Maybe the world doesn't need to end. While all this is going on, 11 goes into Max's mind, and we find the good memory that she's kind of holding on to.
Again, it's textbook Professor X stuff going on here.
Right.
Maximoff, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
I'm here to pull you out of your bad memory.
Well, that didn't go well.
Didn't go well for Professor X.
Goes a little better for L.
A little.
Yeah, just a little. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
And then, all right, it's go time.
It's go time.
Vecna's like, I gotcha. I'm here, Max.
Well, basically, the good memory for Max, they're like blunt. She's trying to navigate her way, so she gets through. They're back wherever I think they were in California before.
This is like Professor X meets Inception.
Yeah,
like,
because
I was like doing like a dream dive.
Yeah, because her first good memory is her at a skate park when she's a kid, and then there's like a little table from the dance they had in season 2.
And I was like, that's not supposed to be.
Yeah, that's not what's going on. And Max is like, Elle, is that you?
Meanwhile, Mike's like, narrate to us, 11.
Yeah. Tell us what's
11's
happening.
11's like, I'm busy.
Yeah. To me, I've got a bunch of Carrie vibes from this, like the dance floor with like the exploding balloons full of blood just going
ready
everywhere.
for the exploding balloons.
Yeah. Oh, the first one, I was like, what's going on?
That? Jason?
Yeah. It's insane.
Is Jason pop it off?
Speaking of Jason, because it's the next thing that happens. I can't stand this guy.
So, of course, these idiots have to get involved in the plot.
Right.
I didn't love this.
Me neither.
This was such an unnecessary, thing.
So, yeah, Vecna gets Max, and her eyes are on the back of her head, and then Jason's like, Lucas, you...
Well, also, his guy, general guy, attacks Erica.
Right, yeah.
Not a great look for that guy.
No, it's not.
Attacking a
child.
11-year-old girl.
Yeah. Jason's like, man, I got this Peacemaker revolver. You better... He's telling her, like, release her, or else. And Lucas is like, I'm not, if you will listen to literally anybody for more than 2 seconds, I will try to explain. It's not me.
They have a real Rick Flag Peacemaker.
They do,
standoff here.
They do. Who's Lucas's?
Lucas is Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Jason's Peacemaker.
Because of the gun.
On the mission.
Yeah, he is on a mission. He said, I'm all about this mission, man. Can't switch up. I can't listen to logic. Gotta get paid, man. Gotta get my sentence reduced, man. This is a Suicide Squad.
Yeah. What else? So we're going back to the Upside Down?
No, we're in Russia. We're in Russia again.
I keep forgetting about Russia.
And they have a plan in Russia. They're like, all right, well, the prison's overrun now with, demons from another dimension. We need to trap them all in one place and lock the door. Because that's easy. Spoiler alert, it's not. Because basically every guard in this place is dead.
Except for the one guy. There's always the one.
The one guy that's got to advance the plot.
So he advances, he does. He's like, oh my god. It's horrible.
Yeah, and it's a nice little moment because Hopper's just like, she tells Joyce what the plan is. Like, hey, I need to, lock this door. So basically, we can try to burn all of them, because what the plan is like, it's the same thing that Hopper tells that Elle has. It's the same plan. Like, if we hurt them, we can hurt Vecna and weaken them, so that the A Squad can, do
what they gotta do.
Yeah, they can kill Vecna a little bit easier. So that's happening. But the nice moment is Joyce is like, she has a vision of season 2.
Bob.
With Bob. With the goat.
Shout out Sean Astin.
Oh, man. He was so good in season 2. Everybody loves that guy. He's a universally loved man. But yeah, Hopper gives her a nice little kiss because, romance.
It's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. He is really the Han Solo of this.
He really is.
He really is. We're back in the Upside Down.
Yes. Dustin and Eddie?
Yep, Dustin. It's intercut between Dustin and Eddie. Basically, they step on a vine.
It's distraction time, son. So Eddie's like, Dustin's like, you ready? You ready for
when I talk about
are you ready for the concert of your life?
Great scenes.
This is great. And then, so Eddie, he goes, Chrissy, this is for you. Segue into Metallica, Master of Puppets. Just shreds it. Here come the bats. Mm-hmm. Eddie is just, man, it's
thrashing
so good.
Times a million.
It's so good.
The greatest rock concert of all time, possibly.
It's incredible.
Once he hits that first note and he's just holding the guitar with one hand and he's getting red, I'm like, this is with the red lightning.
It's metal as hell.
This is it. This is peak.
Here come the bats.
Here come the bats. They're like, is that Metallica?
The bats are like, I love Metallica.
I love Metallica. Let's go see what's up.
Vecna does not love Metallica.
No, he does.
Stays behind.
He actually hates Metallica.
Vecna stays behind to get to Max, and he's like, hello, Max.
Yeah.
I know you didn't ask me to this prom, but I'm your date.
Yeah, I'm your date. Your date with Destiny is here.
Come on home. We're doing episode 4 again.
Yeah. But this time, your meddling friends won't get in my way.
Or will they?
Astral projection. Meddling friend. Elle shows up, Ex Machina style. She's just like, hey, remember when you said there was only one person?
You looking for this?
Yeah, boom, you looking for this? Remember when you said there was only one person that was as strong as you? Boom, I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, get
Hello
this
there.
in the air, son.
General 11, you are a bold one.
You're a bold one, General 11.
She does the slow spin with Vecna, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
whoa, maybe Brenner was wrong.
Yeah, Brenner was kind of right.
She force pushes Vecna through a wall.
Yeah,
and Mac, they have a good little tension breaking moment.
Yeah, because Mac's like, "Are you
real?"
And she's like, "Yeah,
yep. I'm in a salt bath.
Yeah, I'm in a
pizza shop.
Don't worry about it."
Max is like, huh?
Yeah, it's not important right now. What's important is we get you out of here.
Yeah.
And she's just like, stay behind me. I'm gonna mind kill this guy while they physically kill this guy.
Yeah. And so
not a great plan.
Steve, Nancy, and Robin are in the house and don't step on the vines because you'll wake Vecna up.
Yeah.
And they're chip chopping through the thing. And then so Vecna's like, and then Vecna, Darth Vader style, is like, you didn't think I saw all this coming.
Right. Does the Kenobi from the season finale, lifts all the wood out of the dance floor, and then he just teleports her into his crib.
Yeah, he's like, let's roll.
Yeah.
you want to fight? Let's put your dukes up.
Yeah.
Put your mental dukes up.
So basically, Vector captures her and Max, and he's just like, Max, this is nice because you're going to be the last sacrifice. You thought you could run away from me? You thought you could do this to me? I run stuff here. Y'all just live here. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? I'm going to kill 11, and then I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to just stick around. It's going to be beautiful, as he likes to say.
Did you really think I didn't see it, youngling?
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, oh
crap.
God, he knows what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's so tense.
The vines attack.
And then we have to remind. So basically, this is the big exposition dump of the episode. They all get confirmation because he's just like, you still don't understand. Like, I tried to explain to you when you were a child, like when you were a young child, like they do not care about you. They do not matter. Like, look at this beautiful world I got.
Look at this.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. This is cool. I don't care if I pay taxes.
Isn't this great?
Yeah, this is nice.
I got vines. I
got
got bats.
Yeah, I got floating clocks. This is it.
Speaking of bats,
Yeah.
they're Eddie and Dustin hightail it.
Yeah.
Because their part is done.
Yeah.
And now they just gotta fend off the bats.
Yeah.
And the bats are attacking the trailer, and they're like, surely the bats can't get in this trailer, right? And Eddie's like, ooh.
Oh, crap.
You look up at the vent.
Yeah.
Here come the bats.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, it's the bats.
The bats.
So, yeah, they're like, ah, crap. Eddie's like, you know what? I gotta do something heroic. I know Steve said no heroic stuff, but dang you, Harrington, I'm gonna do something heroic.
Well, he punches the vent close at first.
The shield, he's got the
Captain America shield. And then Dustin's like, there's not another vent, is there? And Eddie's like, oh my God, there's another vent.
I should know this because this is my trailer that I've been living in.
And then here come the bats down the second vent, and they quick escape back. Dustin's like, we gotta go. So
Unfortunate.
they climb up the rope. Well, Dustin climbs up the rope, and then Eddie's about to climb up the rope, and then he, has his like. We called this basically.
Yeah.
This whole season was predicated on Eddie being.
He's a runner.
Running away.
He's Loki.
Which justifiably he ran away the first time because a girl was horrendously murdered in front of him.
Right. I don't like this, Chrissy.
No, he didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then so he's like, all right, it's time to sack up. Hero moment. Cuts the rope, and he's like, I gotta buy them more time, Dustin. Mm-hmm. And he charges out of the trailer, gets on his bike, and he's off. This took a real long time to happen. Because we keep cutting back to the house, both houses in the Upside Down and the regular world.
Lucas is getting the absolute crap kicked out of him.
It's such a visceral fist fight.
Yeah.
I didn't expect visceral fist fights.
Well, he kicks the gun because Jason's got him dead to rights. He kicks the gun out of his, or he hits the gun out of his hand, and it's just fisticuffs.
And he's not gonna beat Jason up, surely.
Yeah, because Jason's the senior. You're just a small freshman. Boom, you looking for this right hook?
So Jason's beating the brakes off of Lucas. Mm-hmm. Erica is still trapped.
Yeah, and then this is when it happens. All hope seems lost.
Vecna has Nancy, Robin, and Steve.
Yep, he's got Elle in his own realm. And then he goes over to Max. He's like, I want you to watch this. Like, it's going to be over in a second, but it's
what I'm about to do to your tiny, pathetic
little friend group. I'm going to
enjoy it.
So Max lifts into the air. It's over, but dang it if Kate Bush doesn't save many days.
So this sequence.
Oh, Mike. We have to get reminded that Mike's the heart of this team. Even just know it's not the truth. I don't care what they say. So basically, everybody's dead to rights.
Yeah, because also Hopper's pinned down by a demodog.
Yep, he's ready to go. And then Mike just yells to 11 in the deprivation tub.
You can do it.
You can do it. You're the main character. You can do this. And he says just one of probably the most heartbreaking lines that Will can hear. My life started the day we found you in those woods.
Crazy thing to say in front of Will.
Will's just like, ugh.
Gross.
And then she's just like, unlimited power.
Well, we don't get unlimited power yet.
We got like 70%.
We got some power because, meanwhile, everything's still going horribly bad.
This is like a such like a movie trope turn of the tide.
It's such a movie trope to the point where I almost found it like
it was so
breaking.
I was like, because Lucas starts fighting better, Hopper kills the Demodog, or Joyce comes over and stuns the Demodog.
Yeah, and meanwhile we've seen Vecna clean these folks up.
Oh my god,
pretty quickly,
right?
And he's just slow burning Max, like breaking one bone at a time. Like it's like such a slow burn. God. Yeah. So Max it's looking like it's curtains for Max,
right? But then
the arms get broken, the legs get broken, and you're like, oh my god, like this is actually happening.
I start bleeding. Like this is it. And then 11's like, my boyfriend told me to beat you up. So guess what I'm gonna do?
Not in my house.
Not in my house.
And then so what we get here is
she's Jean Grey.
Maybe
get out of my head, Gene.
Maybe my favorite sequence ever in this entire show. So they round the Demogorgon and the Demodogs into the little chamber, and they torch them all in Russia. They're all getting torched. Torch. There's one Demogorgon that survives, and he's like, "Ow, flamethrower, really?
Come on, bro. What's up with that?"
Hopper picks up the Conan Barbarian sword. Why was that there?
Because it's the season finale. That's why it was there. Oh, incredible.
Hopper picks it up, and then we go... Zack Snyder stepped in for a bit here to direct this last episode.
Yeah. So basically, everybody's free. The vines get undone. They're like, Vecna's being...
Well, we got to talk about the music bit.
Oh, God. So good.
So we get a slow motion, slow burn Kate Bush running up the hill, mixed with the Stranger Things theme song. Just as the tides start to turn, you get the Stranger Things like synths get going.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Amazing mixture of the score and the song. People were upset that they overused it. I was like,
nah, man,
it's
this
fine.
Was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hopper does a running slide, chops the Demogorgon's arm off.
Yeah. Elle's just like, bro, it's over for you.
It's over, Vecna. I have the high ground.
Yeah, I have you higher than me.
I have the mental high ground.
I have the mental high ground. And then I love this little bit. It's such a funny point of like tension because firstly, so they find Vecna, like the physical form of him. They hit him with one
Molotov.
Yep. And then Robin gets ready to throw hers, and I'm like, oh no, she's gonna miss, and he's gonna kill one. He's gonna kill what I thought was gonna be Steve.
Did you really think that was gonna happen?
I thought she was gonna miss, and he was gonna kill Steve. Like
I never thought that
because she said. I'm so clumsy with everything that I do. I thought it was going to be the point she misses.
You know what it was? It was just the music.
Yeah.
Like the music just got me
hyped.
It got me hyped and it got me thinking like this is the turn of the tides. Like this is Gandalf and the Rohirrim riding down and the two towers. Like that's what this is. That's this moment. That's what I thought. So I thought at this point like this is where this is ending.
Right.
Nancy's toting a shotgun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nancy like sawed off a shotgun. Like, trust me, she keeps that thing on her. If you don't mess around, you're gonna find out.
Yeah. So they smash Vecna up.
I can't believe Hopper killed that Demogorgon. Oh my god. How did he do that?
He killed it dead.
He killed it dead. Like the
Demogorgon Slayer.
Yeah. No human could do that. And that is a really good homage to the first part of the season that like Hopper's like a legend out of all of them. Like he's probably going to be the one of the story of that prison now of like the only man to ever kill a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Really well done.
So Vecna's on the ropes. He's on the ropes. You know who's not on the ropes? Jason. He's still kicking Lucas's ass.
Yeah. But Lucas rolls up in sleeves and's like, boom, you looking for this?
He does the Henry Cavill from Mission Impossible.
Yeah, he loads his arms. He hits him with a mean left to knock him out. Like, the
one-hitter quitter.
Man.
So Jason's disposed of, but Max has also been disposed of. She is dead.
Yep. She's, this is it. This was out of all the deaths in this one, because I know this is between this one and the one we're about to talk about, because this was the one. But the Max quote unquote death was the one where I was like, oh my god, you guys, it was like 2:00 in the morning. I was like, you guys got me. You got me. Because it's basically Luke is just like, did I just beat up Jason the Senior? This is awesome. And then he turned around and was like, oh no, my girlfriend. And then he turns around, she's on the ground, bones broken, but then Sadie Sink, being the absolutely amazing actress she is, just like, I can't see, but I mean, paying off her full arc, she says like, I don't want to die. Because this whole thing that's been leading up is like, maybe she should be with Billy. That's kind of what she was contemplating.
Decker Montgomery came back for this episode.
Right, he did. And he's still great. You still hate him, but he's great. But yeah, he's holding her in her arms. She's just like, I can't see or feel anything. And she's just like, I don't want to die. And
Too late.
Man.
A little late for that.
Little
Max.
Nice improvisation. Because I think he's just like, Erica, help. Just like primal Erica, help. Like,
Erica kicks the other guy in the nuts.
Yeah.
Good.
Shout out Erica.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then you thought it couldn't get any more tragic.
Wait, before you say anything, to add to the sadness of that part scene, you also see 11, like, from like her mental escape, like also watching her girl best friend die on top of that. Yeah. Oh man, it's such a tough one. That was such a tough one. And then go ahead.
Yeah, so back with Eddie, the longest like drawn out thing ever in this show. He's riding away from the bats. The bats take him off the bike. They're surrounding him. Dustin comes back to the Upside Down, like messes his leg up in the process, and he's screaming for Eddie. And Eddie, just fighting off the bats, and then he just gets overwhelmed. He gets attacked, and Eddie's on his deathbed. Ugh. And Dustin runs over to him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're gonna be all right." Yep. And Eddie's like, "No, I'm not." Yeah.
And he says the line, "I didn't run.
I didn't run."
Yep.
And man, a lot of people, I guess, didn't think this was gonna happen. I think we knew this was going to happen.
Well, I think we said it because it's the
guest character syndrome.
Yeah, it's like they come in for the season, everybody loves them, and then they kill them.
Yeah. So Eddie goes out literally on his shield. And yeah, great performance all around.
Both of them, are amazing.
Joseph Quinn, Gatton Manzaro.
Oh, yeah.
He does such a good job of establishing these dynamics.
Right.
Whether it's Joe Keery as Steve or whether it's Joseph Quinn.
Yeah,
as
there's
Eddie.
such a great episode in the last episode where they're basically in a field, getting ready to start their mission to defeat Vecna, and him and Eddie, Dustin or Eddie, are like in the field just messing around like with the weapons, and he tells them, he's just like, never change, Henderson. Like you are like there's a reason why you were a freshman, and I immediately like,
you're the best of us.
You're the best of us, Henderson.
Yeah, and Eddie dies.
You should be the leader of the Hellfire Club, not Mike Wheeler.
And Eddie talked about, I think this is going to be, I think he says this is my year.
Yep.
I'm going to graduate while he's, dying. It's really awful. It's a really awful scene. Just
so well done though.
Amazingly
incredibly
done.
Well done.
And that's it for Eddie.
That's it for Eddie.
Just a wonderful character from start to finish.
The music in the scene was perfectly done too. It was the both of them. Like
out of all, I think like the guest characters, I think Eddie has been my favorite out of all of them. Just man,
he had the best one-liners. He was funny.
Just a force of nature.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the perfect storm of like all the things, like charisma, whether it be practical or impractical, that you love about characters. Like he had all of it. He was
chaotic.
Yeah.
But also kind.
But he had he had a great heart. And like what pays off later too, that we'll find out, like that the town still hates him, but I mean Dustin says like it doesn't matter. Like it's like that trope, like things not a good's not a thing you are, it's a thing you do, and Eddie did some of the greatest goods you can do.
And then, meanwhile back at the ranch, Vecna gets punted out a window.
He gets shot out of a window. Nancy keeps that thing on her.
Nancy's not messing around.
He's got the sawed off right to the chest.
Out the window he goes, lands flat on his back.
Ah! You meddling kids.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids and your great hair.
Yeah, it's one for your meddling kids and your superpowered friend.
And your great hair. And then they do like the but Max is dead.
Max is dead.
Therefore, Vecna's plan succeeds.
Fourth tick of the clock. All the murder scenes start to... The Upside Down's here. Huge earthquake in Hawkins. Everybody's freaking out. Jason dies.
Jason gets cut in half.
Cut in half.
By a portal. Very unceremoniously. Yeah. Good. I'm glad he's dead.
Get out of here, man. We couldn't stand you. Now you can go be with Chrissy.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not going to be with Chris. He's going to hell.
He's going to the upside down. He's going to a worse place.
Good, I'm glad he's dead.
So the town's literally splitting in half. I love how how the news at the end is just like, the officials are saying this is just a 7.3 magnitude earthquake. You know, there's like vines sticking out of the ground.
And like hellfire.
Yeah,
like,
it's just raining. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like it's the Empire Strikes Back is like the Avengers Infinity War. Like, did we just lose?
Yeah, did we just lose? But then you think Max is gone and Elle says no.
Hold my resurrection.
Yeah. She unlocks a new power.
She unlocked the final power.
Yeah, she's so far in her story mode game that she unlocked a new power. Basically brings her back.
Through the power of memories.
Yeah.
She has all these memories of Max, and she's like, you know what? I don't want Max to die.
Yeah, that would stink. Yeah.
Resurrects her. She's alive, but she's
in a coma.
Yeah. Because she got all her bones snapped.
Yeah.
And that would induce a lot of physical trauma upon a person.
And I love how you said this was 5 days later, because the screen cuts to black and then it says 5 days later.
2 days later, I think it is.
Or 2 days later.
Oh, well, before that, Joe, I called him by his actor name, Steve, and Nancy and Robin go out to investigate what they think is going to be Vecna's body.
Yeah, and he's gone.
He's gone.
Crap.
He scurried away.
Yeah, he did.
The coward.
Crap.
So yeah, Vecna survives.
Yeah.
The first Stranger Things villain to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we predicted that Vecna was gonna be the big bad of the next season.
It's him. This is like the Infinity, like you said, this is the Infinity War Endgame.
We do go to 2 days later.
Everybody's
into the world's longest epilogue.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it was
not quite as comically. It's not quite as comically long or as bad as the Justice League epilogue. No. But I could have done without a lot of this.
It was 30 minutes long. It's a 30-minute epilogue. So basically, the California squad finally makes it back to Hawkins.
Good reunion.
Yeah, and then,
which we needed. We needed this reunion.
Before, like, they're driving into town and it turns into like a military state. Like the military's there. Like,
it's a quarantine zone. Basically.
Yeah. What is it? The big. Whatever, the town hall in the middle is literally cracked in half.
Yeah. People are missing.
There's like 22 people missing, and like the news, they're like Eddie.
Well, 22 people dead, several others missing.
Yeah, and either people are walking into the church or they're walking like into the relief center, which they converted the school into the relief center. And the big news broadcast says this happened possibly because of Eddie Munson. That's the leader of this cult called Hellfire. I love the way that 70s news reporters talked. Yeah. The Hellfire. We'll see you next on CBS News. Meanwhile, all this is happening. Mike and Nancy's dad's just sitting on the couch just like, you can't listen to the news, kids. Look at what they're saying about all this.
Can't trust the fake news media.
This man...
Mike's dad was out of his time.
Yeah. This man, he has levels of just like, ain't got nothing to do with me that I've just aspired to be like. Incredible. This man's just sitting... The world's ending and he's just sitting on the couch.
But yeah, we do get a really nice reunion of the season 1 crew.
Yeah.
Season 1 crew reunites, plus Robin.
Plus Robin.
Season 1 crew reunites, plus Robin. 11 and Dustin and Mike and Will, and you're like, this feels like Stranger Things.
Yeah. They're all back together. Nancy and Jonathan they hug and they're like, do you still like me? They never say this, but it's emotionally implied that you still like me? I don't know.
I didn't need that bit.
No, me neither.
I didn't need that bit. Like, we know we're working on the Nancy and Steve reclamation thing.
Yeah, which is going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't need the awkward Jonathan-Nancy reunion bit.
Yeah,
if it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's my fear for Jonathan next season is how much is he going to be needed without...
Well...
Right. Right. We'll get there. Give it a second. We cut back to the hospital.
Also, I did. It was kind of funny when Jonathan's like, "Oh man, Steve, what an asshole!" Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Nancy's like, "Actually, he's kind of a good guy now." And Jonathan's like, "Whatever,
whatever." I hate that guy. Remember when he almost beat me up in season 1?
Don't hold your season 1 sins against your season 4 character, Jonathan.
Yeah. My powers have doubled since the last time you've seen me, Jonathan. My hair. My parental powers have doubled since the last time.
My hair has grown
even more.
Twice the prod, double the fall.
This is just Star Wars.
We go back to the relief center. They're donating clothes.
before that, it's we're with now now they're all together. It's the original kids. Elle's there. It's a nice moment with Elle and Lucas because they hug, because in the first season he hated her. Like he had no
and the great undertone of that is Lucas has no idea that 11 helped
right
at all with the Vecna situation.
That's just his friend. It's just there.
And there's 11 never, like, she says I'm sorry, but like Lucas obviously takes it as like an I'm sorry, like, for what happened to Max, but 11 is saying it like I'm sorry, like I failed, like I couldn't sit, but none of that's spoken. Like, I thought that was really great.
Yeah, no, it was really well done scene, really somber but really beautiful scene. And then I believe, does Dustin come in this scene? So yeah, we're, like you said, we're back to the relief center.
Again, Robin has a thing with that girl Vicky,
with fake Molly Ringwald.
Again, like another bit that is kind of unnecessary, but
still pays off better than Will and Mike.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to like the missing persons board. Eddie's is being defaced.
Yeah. Every single time we see his uncle back there. Oh man.
Dustin shows up.
Gaten Matarazzo deserves some sort of award / recognition.
They chat, and he's like, "Look, Eddie was a hero. Like, whatever you think of him." And like his uncle is like, all these people are saying all these horrible things. Like, he wasn't a bad kid. Like, he had a good heart, and he was a good kid. And Dustin's like, "Yeah, I know." And a lot of people have taken issue with not this scene, but like the implication of this scene, insofar as like implying that Dustin's the only one that really cared about Eddie.
I don't think it's I don't
think it's that simple, but I also understand it.
Sure.
Like, we should have seen, Nancy and Steve and Robin kind of reacting to Eddie's death.
Right. And I think it's more of like, I think the reason for it is they really wanted to perpetuate like Dustin and Eddie's relationship. Like, that was the main focus of that, like, because Dustin is just 10 out of 10 picking people that other people don't think are great and being like, no, that's a great person. He did it with Steve. He did it with Eddie.
Yeah.
Wow. But the scene between him and his uncle is just...
It's really great.
Oh, it's amazing. He basically tells the legend of Eddie Munson and like why he is this, this hero, finally. Like, he's this hero of this town that hated him, but...
they all still do hate him.
They still hate him. But
that's the tragedy behind it.
But
they're never going to know like what he did.
What sacrifice he made to save everybody. But he tells his uncle, like, don't care about what anybody else says. He saved countless lives from what he did.
Yep.
And yeah. And then even more reunions. The Russia squad's back. The
Sans Russians.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Whatever happened to Enzo? Because I just remembered his name was Enzo.
We don't know. We don't know. There's no resolution there.
There isn't. We
don't get a Hopper and Enzo, like...
Yeah.
Forearm handshake?
Yeah.
Which I imagine they would have done.
Yeah.
They would have done the forearm grab shake. But yeah, we go to Hopper's cabin, the old cabin, and they're like, Jesus Christ, what happened to this place?
And then they're like, oh crap, we were all here for season 3 when the Mind Flayer destroyed this thing.
Hopper and Elle.
Well, she leaves the door open 3 inches with her force powers because they're back. And then, but then she like senses something. She turns around. She's like, ah, crap. The military, it's gotta be. And Hopper shows up. He's like, what's up, kid? Everybody loves me. Your real dad's back.
I'm David Harbour.
America's sweetheart. They have an amazing...
Undefeated in Russia.
Yeah, undefeated in Russia. I can't lose. Never lost.
Red Guardian, never lost. Yeah. And now I went to Russia again.
Never lost. Will and Mike have another scene together.
But this one has a little bit of something.
Yeah. This doesn't have anything to do with their relationship.
This doesn't have anything to do with Mike.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with Will.
Because if you guys remember, Will just can't catch any sort of break.
Because season 5 is Will's Y'all Must Have Forgot season.
Yeah.
Y'all must have forgot I'm the main character.
Y'all must have forgot season 2, where I was acting in season 2. He's lying.
Y'all must have forgot I was the main character.
Yeah.
And this whole show actually goes through me.
Right.
So he's like, Vecna's still alive.
Yeah. Not only is he still alive.
And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can feel him. I felt him as soon as I stepped foot in Hawkins. Mm-hmm. And they're like, shit, man, we should have just brought Will to Hawkins in the beginning of this season. We gotta wrap this bad boy up in 4 episodes.
We would have known exactly what's going on. So crap.
The hair on the back of his neck stands up.
He does the thing. He reaches for the back of his neck. You can feel it. He's like, crap.
I'm home.
I'm home.
No place like home.
Yeah.
So season 5 very clearly is going to flow through Will.
Right. So
as again, we were spot on with these Stranger Things predictions.
Right. Another thing, Elle she spins the Coke bottle the same way she did with Max in season 3, and you realize that she's basically looking for Max's consciousness. Essentially,
she goes into Max's mind and
it's blank.
No Max.
Yeah, she can't find it. I do like that theory that's floating around that's where Vecna is right now, because he said with young Kid 11 that all the other subjects, they're not dead, they're alive through me. So I think Max same thing. That's how Vecna's gonna come back. He's kind of that would be a really interesting take to have him be through her. And what that would add is like, if you want to kill me, you're gonna have to kill Max. So
yeah,
you guys can try.
I mean, there's the Will thing too.
Oh yeah,
season 5 is shaping up to be very intriguing.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna probably have to make some even deeper sacrifices about, do we kill our friends to save the world?
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, there's that untied kind of tether of, I forget which episode it was, where Nancy remarks like the Upside Down is mirrored from the day Will was taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which it's a plot point that they obviously didn't forget about,
mm-hmm.
but that they're not revisiting yet.
Right,
they're saving that for next season, and it's really cool. Yeah. I mean, Duffer Brothers have already said season 5 is going to be Hawkins centered. It's
mm-hmm.
going to be kind of old school, kind of Stranger Things,
right,
which makes sense because it's the final season. And usually in your final season, you want to kind of tether it back to your first season.
Right.
That's usually how you do it. And, like I said, season 1's my favorite season of the show. I think it still is. This season was pretty strong, but I think ultimately, I still think season 1 is the best season.
I think this is the best season. I think this season had probably the best intensity. This might have had some of the deepest character work, amongst your side characters as well. I think the flow is amazing. And like I said, the decision to cut the last 2 episodes off from the first 7, in terms of like the outside looking in, like understanding like how to market a show, is probably one of the greatest examples I've ever seen. So, we're at the end. We're here, and you can hit me with one of your classics.
Dun, dun, dun!
The rifts start opening, and Hawkins is being finally, what people have predicted since season 1 of the show, Hawkins is finally turning itself into the Upside Down. Vecna's plan worked. We're Empire / Endgame. Crap. It's happening.
Oh my god. Cue the Steve Rogers.
Literally, the ground itself is being rotted. There's a huge smoke cloud in the air, with red lightning through it. Like, this is it. Like, this is it.
This is it.
Yep. Mike's just standing there, dumbfounded.
I like Film Wolf hard.
Yeah, we love you, man. We loved you and everything.
Ghostbusters, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great in Stranger Things.
Yeah, he is.
Just not
well written.
Not well written. They're not giving. Hopefully next season.
I thought the way they framed it too, that Will was gonna hold his hand when they were standing next to each other, and then they didn't.
And then hopefully next season, it seems like we're gonna not really have that side character thing. It's not gonna be. We're not gonna have several different storylines happening at once.
I got some theories. So
theorize away.
Yeah, I mean, first things first. I mean, we just kind of talked like I said. This is my favorite season of the show. This show has an absolute just hold on the world. It's incredible, like how far it took me to the scene where they were all hugging in the hospital room to be like, look how far we've come from these children to like these adults now, and like all the relationships have grown. Like it's really incredible. The show they've crafted a really compelling story from season 1, even though there's been highs and lows from season 1 to season 4. Like you can't help but tune into this show.
Yeah.
And there's a reason where this is one of the backbones of Netflix. And I can't wait to season 5. So that's basically my review. I think it's the best season, and I think season 5 is going to shape up to be one of the better finales that we've gotten, because I know the comp for this, just because it's one of the most popular shows that like takes over social media when it comes out, is Game of Thrones, where the question's gonna get asked in 2 years when this comes out, like, are they gonna fail like Game of Thrones, or are they gonna succeed like let's say a Breaking Bad season 6? So Well, yeah. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling?
Like I said, season 1 I think is still my favorite season of the show, but it's like a 1A 1B situation. This is at least on par with season 1 in my eyes. But season 1 to me, it was so unique.
Yeah,
it was so what the Duffer Brothers did with that first season, inventing this world, and a lot of kids at the time who put out some pretty sensational stuff, we're more seasoned now. Obviously season 4, they're all in their 20s now, right?
Yeah, I think who's the youngest one? I think
Sadie Sink the youngest?
No, I think Sadie Sink's the oldest. I think that Millie's the youngest, but she's like 19. Like they're all adults now.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
and then, obviously the season 1 story was tighter because it had, less characters to work with, but it's always hard to kind of surpass a first season of a great TV show because it's the building block. It's the foundation.
Like, let's just take Arrow, for example. Like, I will always say, or I'll take the Flash because you're the Arrow guy. I think I'm the Flash guy. Like, Flash season 1 will always hold a place in my heart. Like that, just because it's the first season, there was so much you were getting used to. Same thing for Daredevil season 1. I think season 3's probably, it might be a better season, like storytelling wise than season 1 and like kind of payoff wise, but there's just this love for this introduction to something in season 1.
Right.
But yeah.
Other than that,
what a season.
Well, yeah, it was great.
What a season.
Tremendous decision to split it. Like I said, I think you could have gone away with doing just episode 9 as the big 2.5 hour finale that everyone was waiting for. But I don't hate, obviously it's picking nits at this point, debating that. Like I said, just the ending just felt a little flat because just how extended it was.
It was long. It was legitimately like 23 minutes.
Yeah. So that kind of hampered it for me a bit. I think it could have, if it would have sped along and gotten to that big aha moment, especially, bringing it back to Will, I think is the most important thing that this finale did on top of everything else. I mean, the intrigue with Max going into next season, bringing Vecna back, but I think tethering it back, bringing it all back to Will to kind of go back to like the season 1 thing, like is a really smart decision. And I'm very interested to see, because now presumably we're going to get Will and Vecna interacting.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be like a situation where Vecna's not, what's interesting? If they make Will the Vecna of the lore of Dungeons and Dragons, because he says like, if the Mind Flayer, because before they thought if the Mind Flayer is the big bad, then Vecna's his 5-star general. What if they flip that and just like, if Vecna's the big bad, then Will's gonna be his guy that's gonna make sure like we're gonna get this done. We're taking over the world.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of villains too, just real quick, Vecna himself is probably one of my favorite villains that I've seen in television. He's super. He got one of the most interesting
villain. So helpful to have a humanoid villain in this show.
Agreed.
Finally.
So agreed. Just seeing somebody with a physical form, and then somebody that's so tied to Elle, and like so many parallels that you can see, like that reveal in 7. Not only was it just a great reveal for shock factor, it's a great reveal for like character development too. Like you do a little bit understand, like Creel was ostracized by his own mother, like in his house, like, and you could see like it's the perfect parallel to Elle too, because it's just like you see what a little nurturing had done for Elle after she was found.
It goes back to the monster and the superhero. It's the Superman thing.
Yeah.
It's not what if Superman but evil. It's what if Superman but not raised by the Kents.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Eleven and Vecna are. It's Eleven was raised, as horribly as her early life was.
Right.
She found her family.
Right.
Whereas Vecna never did.
Yeah.
He could never find. And then when he thought he did find his family, she clearly did not want it.
And then on top of that too, he had no brothers and sisters. Like he had no people to experience what he was going through on that side too, with Brenner as well. Like for Brenner to see her, because Brenner saw a lot of potential in Elle, so she probably got a little bit like better treatment, but like he was the first one, so he definitely felt more of a test subject than an actual just like boy that was young boy with powers.
Then Brenner made him stick around.
Yeah,
depowered him and made him stick around
just to see, and it's got to do something to him to say like, look at, like, I can't do anything. Like, I physically can't do anything. It's got to take a toll on me to watch these kids go through what I did. So, yeah, theory time for me. One theory. So this time jump, that time jump, as soon as that got confirmed, it had me thinking a lot. So one thing that keeps playing back for me, just an interesting way. What if this time jump took place, kind of in the way Atomic Blonde did it, where it takes place up until like the end of the third act. So you don't know what the very end's going to be, but you know what most of the thing's going to look like. I would be like, that would be a pretty interesting way to do it. Like maybe they start that with like a big death just to start the season. Like you find out that one of these 10 plus characters are dead from the start. And how did this happen? Like where they are.
The Arrow season 4 it.
Right. That's what yeah, right. No, that's a great point. Yeah. There's like somebody's gone right out of the gate and you don't know what happened. That's a big one that I've been thinking about. Just this future fling, like maybe the world is the Upside Down and like it's like a Terminator situation, like Salvation, like we're living in this world and like we've been having to survive in this world and like this is what this looks like now. That would be pretty interesting. The only thing with that is like the world looking in, like how would they perceive this? I don't think they'd do that much because I do think that takes a little bit away from like the intrigue that the first season had of like nobody knows except for them, but now more people are going to start to find out. I mean, the ground literally rotting in a city doesn't help anything, but that's something I was thinking
Eddie
about.
Munson.
Yeah, Eddie Munson and your Hellfire cult, the worst. Are we gonna do what we do for Eddie Munson with that we do for Henry Allen? Eddie Munson is the reason for all this.
No, I love Eddie too much to do that.
Speaking of loving Eddie, I don't think Eddie's dead.
Oh shoot!
I don't think he's gone. Friends that loved him so much, I do think that. So, what was he killed by?
Bats.
What's his tattoo on his arm?
Bats.
Is he gonna be a vampire?
Is he gonna be Morbius?
Is he gonna? Nope.
Is that where you're going with this? Dr. Michael Morbius?
Dr. Eddie Munson. No, I don't necessarily think he's going to be Morbius, but I do think he's going to be resurrected.
Is he bad guy?
No, I think he's going to help them to some capacity.
Oh, so he is Morbius.
Oh, no.
He's a hero.
He's a Stranger Things legend. But no, seriously, I do think there's a possibility that Eddie survives, and I do think it's more of like a situation where like it's like an upside down because like nobody's died inside of the Upside Down. We've only seen characters die in the real world.
Didn't Barb get killed in the Upside Down?
No, she got killed in the real world and then taken into the Upside Down.
Son of a bitch.
Because she was seeing visions of the Upside Down. And you know what's really good about that whole thing? Because then that like plays into the fact that Vecna was running the whole thing. Because like, how did she see the Upside Down even though it was like the normal world? I could be wrong on that, but I'm trying to think like, I'm pretty sure she was in the normal world. Oh, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was in the Upside Down when she got killed. But forget Barb.
Wow.
let my theory run for a little bit.
No respect for Barb.
It was just such like a prolonged death that Eddie had. Like, what happens if he is? It was just something I saw online.
It took like 30 minutes for him to die.
What happens if he gets resurrected as like an agent of the Upside Down? Now it gets like terraformed to that world, and like he's like permanently like Vecna, same way. Like he's permanently like scarred and disfigured. But
is he Luke Evans from Dracula Untold?
Kinda. A little bit. He can control the bats now.
Give me a big bat.
Imagine him with the guitar and the bats, and like he's got to play the guitar.
That's the most metal freaking thing I think.
And guess who's the most metal person we've ever met? Eddie Munson.
Absolutely, he was.
Yeah.
More Metallica.
Yeah. Let me help with season 5.
I think it's possible that they bring him back.
Yeah. Just like imagine him as like it'd be so metal. It'd be cool. Those are my 2 big ones. I think Eddie, there's a possibility Eddie might still be alive, and that time jump I think is going to be really telling. I don't think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be, we're going to see what happens at the very end of the series, and then it's going to be like the rest of the episodes are going to be what leads to that. Yeah.
That's a good theory. I like that.
I've got theories from time to time. What do you got? What do you think's happening next season?
What do I think they're gonna end up having I don't know if that show is willing to go that far to sacrifice Will.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna tease it, but I think they're ultimately gonna find a way to save him.
Yeah, because they saved him in season 1, they saved him in 2.
I don't think they're that like Game of Thrones level. Like anyone can get it. I think they coming out of how this season finished. I think they do want all these kids to get to the end of the show.
Yeah. Another one I got, I think the end of season 5, Elle's going to lock herself on the other side of the gate to close it, because she's closed it from our side. I think she's going to lock it on her side, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah,
I can see that. That'd be real interesting. I just wish there was a way, like, I just don't know how much of a time jump we're getting to, like, the possibility of, like, her having her own child. Because there's, what are they, 15? Like, that would have to be, like, another 5 years.
Yeah, it's not
to
going
get that far or something like that. But I just, like, the possibility that there's somebody else out there that can reopen that gate at some point, because that's like the only world superhero. I mean, we got the other crew from season 2, but nobody cares about
Nobody talks about them.
Nobody talks about them, and everybody hated them.
Yeah, they'll never be spoken about ever again.
Right. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be not the end of Elle, but because she's going to survive in that world, but maybe she also takes a book, like a note out of Vecna's book, but like in a good way. Like, hey, Mind Flayer, what if you weren't as bad as a thing?
Or what if Mind Flayer but good?
Yeah, what if Mind Flayer but decent? Demogorgon, what if you worked at the tax office? Be a good person. But yeah, that would be a pretty cool, like, switch out. Like, now she's like, it's not like a banishment, but it's
and
more
kind of like tying into like my thing. I think she'll do that for Will.
Mm-hmm. She'll take the spot. She'll die, quote unquote, like, die for Will. She'll fall on the sword. Truly,
like, release him from this
hold. Yeah.
Hold that the Upside Down's had on him since he was, like, 13.
Yeah. Damn. It's so tough. Yeah. I think, yeah, I truly think one of the kids, besides Elle, are going to go. That, like, in terms of the death theories.
I just don't think they have it in them at this point.
To kill one of them? It's the last season. They're going to be like, because what I think it's going to be.
I think they do want this to have, like, a happy ending. I think they do. I think that's what the Duffer Brothers envision. I don't think they envision themselves as, like, this ruthless Game of Thrones style show.
But why not, though?
I think they just want their heroes. It's a D&D campaign at the end of the day. Like, yeah,
because I mean, one of the gigantic theories is that this has just been a D&D game this whole time.
Oh no, don't do this. Don't Matrix me.
The internet would explode if that were the case. That would be insanity if that happened.
Don't Matrix
Imagine
me.
that.
No. I'm not.
Because, yeah. Another cool theory that I saw was the whole, the painting that Will gave Mike, like the 3-headed monster. What do you call it? I forget what you call it. Whatever that monster's called is going to be like the big, like, monster bad of season 5. Like, Vecna's going to be like, I got one more trick up my sleeve. Here's a 6-headed dragon.
A Hydra?
Yeah. I forget. They call it something different in D&D, but yeah.
That Hydra.
Yeah. It's been Hydra the whole time.
Ah, damn it. I knew it. Sitwell's back.
Yeah. It was Hydra the whole time. Always was. Always was. Yeah. Vecna's gonna... What if Vecna turns good? That would be fun.
Vecna redemption arc?
No, he'll never get a redemption arc. He's gonna get the Bryce Walker from 13 Reasons Why.
Stop it.
What an absolutely insane redemption arc to try to put him on. One day we're gonna review 13 Reasons Why. Maybe not. I take that back. It'd be way too controversial to do. I don't think we're there yet.
Vecna snaps his own bones at the end.
Oh, he does the Alfred Molina from Spider-Man 2? Maybe I'm the monster.
Yeah. Look in a mirror, guy.
Yeah. Look at you. You're looking really monster-esque. Oh, it's so... his character is just... what's the actor's name? It's Jamie something Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, my... He's so... Like... He's like... I always said, that episode 7...
Jamie Campbell Bower.
Yeah, I don't know how he made himself look different between, like, 5 minutes of screen time before and after he killed everybody
did
at the lab.
Voice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did the Vecna voice.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Amazing.
Oh, my God, he's so good. They put him in all that makeup, too. It wasn't, like, another guy running around. It was him the whole time, so... Great
Go ahead, Internet. Make him the Joker.
Yeah.
You know you want to.
Yeah. It's like every couple of months somebody else comes out as a Joker. Yeah, he would be an absolutely phenomenal one. He's so amazing as Vecna, but I don't know what you do with him in a new season. Like, I don't... Because obviously, like I said, I do think
he's going to be real mad.
Yeah, he's going to come back through somebody. Because I think his physical form is gone, but it's the whole thing.
If I was him, the first person I'd be gunning for is Nancy.
Nancy, what the heck? I told you to tell them. I didn't tell you to make a plan.
I didn't tell you to shoot me with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Twice?
With a sawed-off shotgun. That's illegal. You can't be doing that. It's illegal in the state of Indiana.
Nancy's the first one I'm gunning for.
Yeah. The worst. You wheelers.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I was just watching season 1 again, and one of my favorite small moments is when Dustin has that, like, spat with Mike's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, can I talk to Mike? And he's like, Mike's not home. And Dustin's like, son of a bitch, you're no help.
He said, watch your language. Oh, man.
Season 1 is so freaking good.
Season 1 is good. It's good stuff.
I guess, do you want to talk about Thor quick?
Yeah, let's set a time limit and say 10 minutes about Thor.
All right, we'll do 10 minutes on Thor.
That's it. Anything more is unacceptable.
It's uncivilized.
Yeah. Civilized Thor for an uncivilized time.
So I guess we'll just freewheel this. So Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you anticipating?
I'm anticipating that I think Christian Bale's gonna, steal the show. It's Christian Bale. He's on a Marvel project, which I never thought would be a sentence I'd ever say in my life. I thought he was like, unless Christopher Nolan's here, I'm not doing anything. And lo and behold, Taika Waititi's like, what if you want to have some fun, man? He's like,
Hold my New Zealand.
Hold my New Zealand. I think it's going to be like a fun, like, rom-com-esque movie. Like, it's like interesting. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp was like the first rom-com. I think this is like probably like a more full-fledged rom-com. But it's gonna be a fun time. I just think this is going to be a fun movie, and some people are just not going to like that. But this is the MCU. We know what we're getting ourselves into. Some movies are going to be a little bit more dark and, somber than other ones. Like Eternals is a good example. Moon Knight's a really good example of that, of not being this just like love fest. And then you get the counters. You get your Miss Marvels. You get your Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like some of these are just going to be fun shows and movies that we're going to, take the family, have a good time. Like it's all right. It's all right. I think Chris Hemsworth is going to have a blast as he has been having. I think Natalie Portman and his dynamic is going to be really interesting.
I'm really, that's been the biggest thing for me going into this is just getting her back to this.
Yeah. And
letting her have a totally different take on the character,
right?
Giving her a lot more to do, giving her, she's more than just a love interest now,
which I think is super important.
Yeah, she was kind of ham-fisted into that role in Thor 1 and Thor 2, and those movies are not great. They're fine. Yeah. Well, the second one's not good.
It's
the
worst.
first one's fine.
I always say it's the worst one, and I never say it for the reason it's the most boring Marvel movie I've ever seen. It's so boring. It's unbelievably dull.
You know what? It should be better.
It should be better.
It has good actors.
Yeah, it does. All across the board.
Yeah.
Stellan Skarsgård is in that movie. Love that guy. He produced some pretty talented children.
But I'm really enjoying that. I'm excited to see a little more what Taika can bring.
Yeah.
To this character, beyond Ragnarok.
And I mean, lore-wise is, I guess, the other side of the coin.
Excited to see the Guardians again.
Yeah, I was just about to say the Guardians are just in this movie, and I mean, we talked about this before. Like, this is the point we're at in the MCU. Characters are just going to start showing up places like comics do. Like, they're just going to be there because why not? Lore-wise, I think the big piece of this is the God thing. Like, the whole idea of the gods in the Marvel universe, like, is going to become prominent. I mean, another theory, I do think that Hercules is going to be one of these post-credit scenes because he's going to probably be like, where's my dad? And he's going to be like, your dad's dead, kid. It's, crap.
Oh, man, this is your origin story.
Sorry, Hercules. Dang it. I think they're going to hold off on the Moon Knight thing. It's just, it's something that's been not bugging me, but been nagging about me from Moon Knight is like, it's not the fact that there's no references to the larger MCU. You shouldn't really care about that. What's more interesting is, like, there were two giant beasts battling, and, like, nobody said anything, like, and then it's the whole mind thing for Moon Knight. Like, did any of that really happen? Like, that would be kind of interesting if, like, none of what happened in Moon Knight actually happened.
It's the Men in Black 2 thing. It's the universe in the locker.
Well, yeah.
And then you pull out, and it's two aliens playing marbles.
Right, like...
And then you pull out, and it's the upside down.
Down, yeah. Oh no.
And then you pull out again, and it was a big D&D campaign.
Yeah, it was.
Are we even real?
Is this real?
Oh, this is the Matrix episode again.
That Matrix episode might be one of our better episodes. Because everybody's like, the Matrix is bad, and we're like, it's not great, but like, it's not that's not what this is about.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Always was. But yeah, this Thor movie.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Odinson.
Yeah, this Thor movie though.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I just want to have a good time.
Are we getting rid of gore in this movie?
Yeah, I think gore's too powerful. Well, I mean, all right. Let me talk comics for a second.
You got 5 minutes.
Yeah, give me 2. So basically, you get the score of the God Butcher arc. What's really well done in the Jason Aaron run, and just to get into what I think people won't like about this movie is I think it's the fact of how gritty and dark the comic was, because you mix Jason Aaron with Asad Ribic, some dark stuff's gonna happen, and mainly kind of what I'm getting at is Gore's just ripping through gods in the universe, which I do think he'll do in the movie, but I mean viscerally just. There's Thor, one of the first one he gets to, there's giant gods just hung in their Colosseum, literally just hung by their necks, and it's just this is some dark stuff. But I think Gore's gonna be a little bit more MCU-ish in this movie, so people are gonna be I don't know, but so basically in the Thor run, it's 3 versions of Thor that fight Gore in the last part, the God Bomb part. So I don't know how this is gonna look, because it's probably just gonna be Thor getting closer to God King Thor version of himself, just getting more powerful as time goes on, because that's how it goes. He gets the Odin Force into himself. That's what I think is gonna beat Gore, of him fully fledging, getting the Odin Force to him, renaming it the Thor Force, being hey man, I'm pretty strong myself. Maybe I'm the god.
Maybe I'm the god now.
Maybe I'm the God Butcher now.
I'm the God Butcher.
Oh, you better write that down. What if that's a joke in the movie? I'm the God Butcher.
And then Carl Urban shows up and he's I'm
the Butcher. Just a weird thing that I was thinking about, because this whole Young Avengers thing. What if Thor has a kid? What if Thor and Jane had to find out Jane's pregnant at the end of all this? They have a kid.
That'd be fun.
It's like the kid from that next Avengers animated movie that I saw when I was a child.
Kid Thor. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. You could have his son play Kid Thor.
I think he's just gonna stick around.
No, I said that because I was talking to somebody and they were oh, they're definitely gonna kill Thor after. I was that's not. He's the Norse god. You know how much it's gonna take to kill this guy?
Kratos.
Yeah.
It's gonna take Kratos.
Yeah, if Gore the God Butcher can't kill Thor, then I think Thor, I think it would be cool if, because this is literally something that Chris Evans can do I don't care if he's 70 years old and this MCU is still going.
Anthony Hopkins is in these movies.
Yeah, right,
Chris Hemsworth could do these forever.
Right, that's the thing, he'd just be old man Thor at that point. He'd be Thor Force, just Rune King, just sitting in Asgard, and it's really nice in the King Thor, the end of Jason Aaron's run, he's just sitting in Asgard, just he's got daughters, he's just ugh. Hey, I'm just sitting here, man. I got the spear. I got this hammer. I'm just vibing.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
I think it's going to be fun.
Me
too.
You
said, I think it's going to be a good fun time, And we need that. We need a good palate cleanser in the MCU right now.
Yeah. Doctor Strange scared the crap out of everybody.
Moon Knight was depressing.
Moon Knight was, wow. That episode 5, man. Broke me.
So we need this. I think it's perfect timing. I think Taika Waititi is an excellent director.
Yeah.
I've said a while ago, I don't think there's a movie of his that I've seen that I haven't liked.
Especially with Wakanda Forever coming out later this year. Because that's probably going to be, however the movie's perceived in terms of if it's fun or if it's still it's going to be a very tough movie to consume by the end of this year. It's just the way it's going to go. So yeah, that's it for Thor. Once we talk to you guys next, we'll have seen Thor and the God Butcher and Valkyrie and Korg.
Korg's back.
Piss off, Ghost.
Meek's back.
In a
suit.
Meek's got a suit. Love Meek just being like a senator of New Asgard. It's hilarious. Valkyrie's King Valkyrie at this point.
Yep.
Really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, because Tessa Thompson's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for, it's just something about Jane and Thor just being like a Harry Met Sally situation where it's just years keep going by and she's I'm back and we're not together, but.
And we're equals.
Yeah, we're equals now. Thor's like, ah, crap. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. That was Stranger Things is done.
Yep.
Thor is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And what was I going to say? Oh, social media. You can follow us on Twitter at ProjectINF_pod. You can follow us on Facebook. New episodes posted there and on every podcasting platform that you can get your hands on.
Anything you can think of.
Apple, Spotify,
iHeartRadio,
Amazon,
Pandora,
Google,
your grandma's radio.
all the time. The 8-track player and your 1987 Chevy.
Yeah. Maybe listen to some Metallica before you...
Listen to all the Metallica.
Yeah, listen to some Journey.
Listen to Master of Puppets.
Listen to Separate Ways.
Listen to Running Up That Hill.
Because we're all running up that hill.
You can follow us on Instagram.
At the Project Infinite Pod.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have some Thor thoughts later in the week.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a full spoiler review for episode 51. Because this was episode 50.
Yeah.
Talking about some pretty dang good Netflix produced television.
Yeah.
Netflix is back.
Netflix is back. Yeah, if you thought they got resurrected, y'all thought we were finished? You know what? Here, boom, you looking for this? This is another new season of Black Mirror too. Here you go. Y'all must have forgot. You thought Mindhunter was canceled? Here y'all go. Y'all must have forgot.
David Fincher's back.
David Fincher's back. What are you guys talking about?
From me, from the...
Be careful.
Why does this happen every time?
It does happen. Careful. Could have just gave me Eddie, but I guess we have to make this more complicated.
I could have gave you Eddie, but I don't want to keep giving you people that die.
Because you've been doing that just very often. It's alarming at this point.
The Dustin of the podcast. The Dustin, whatever his last name is of the podcast. Henderson. Dustin Henderson of the podcast.
I'll reciprocate that back to you to being the Steve Harrington of this thing.
Oh, great hair.
Great hair and keeping us together. Keeping us pushing.
Yeah.
Thank you for 50 episodes, my man.
50 episodes.
Wild.
I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
Here's to 50 more.
Some thousands of downloads and 50 episodes later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. Thank you sincerely to everybody who has supported us.
Y'all are the best.
You're the real heroes.
Yeah, you guys are the real MVPs.
I didn't mean to sound like Homelander there when I said that.
Well, speaking of Homelander, The Boys is wrapping up this week.
Yes, it is.
Miss Marvel's fast approaching its end.
Yes, it is.
The Umbrella Academy just had a really interesting season. Man, I can't wait to talk about Umbrella Academy.
Same.
That season was something.
But you guys are the real heroes.
Yeah.
Truly.
You doubled down.
Double down.
Double down.
All right, guys. We'll see you later this week for a quick Thor thing. Mm-hmm. And then a full spoiler review of Thor next Wednesday, as you can find us every Wednesday here at the Project Infinite Podcast. From now till the next 50 episodes. And then we're done. After we do 100.
Oh, no. Did we give ourselves a series finale?
After 100, we're done.
What happens in the next 50 episodes will be something of legend.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you now. We'll see you for real next week, but later this week for a small thing.
Yeah. Shout out Thor.
All right, guys. Goodbye.
Peace.